bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Well, happy end of November. This November has been one of the most turbulent Novembers in recent memory. As you guys know, I went on my first date in a very long time, and this month has not only has it been marked by that, it's also been marked by all of the lessons learned from the situations surrounding that date. What do I mean by that? Well, as you guys witnessed, in the week leading up to that date, I cleansed myself of a number of things. I cleaned out my car, I cleaned out my bedroom. You guys remember that. And I made good on a number of things, especially with I had some minor disagreement with sometimes my roommate. I made sure to clean that up because I didn't need that drama sitting in the background when I went on this date. And I scored the best student evaluation review I've ever gotten. I got a 5 out of 5. Perfect 5 out of 5. Out of 7 reviews that were written, nobody wrote a 4 or a 3 or a 2 or a 1. Perfect 5 out of 5. It kind of hurts though, now looking back. I wish I didn't get that perfect 5 out of 5. I'll let you pause the video to think why it might hurt. Well, I can only hope that I continue to get 5 out of 5s, right? But we all know that life throws curveballs. And it's going to make a future 4.6 look a lot worse than it has to, right? Just my own experience. Hopefully my superiors here at Central Arizona College will be a little bit smarter than that. But you know what? At previous jobs, getting a very high review has hurt me before. Let's put it that way. It has. Especially when I was working on my PhD. What had happened was that I had a very toxic relationship with a girl. I broke up with her, and I buried my head in my studies. And I had one semester where I was coming up with result after result after result after result. And then eventually I kind of burned out, and my PhD advisor was not too pleased. And in the rush to make things right, there was a time when every week I went to my PhD advisor's office. She was upset that I didn't have the results she was after, and then I started getting frantic. And long story short, I felt like, I don't know how many of my viewers have witnessed gambling addiction. I felt like I was doubling up my bets just to try to make things right and making a bigger mess of myself. And I had a counselor at the school who I confided with this, and he talked to my advisor and explained the situation earlier in that year with the toxic relationship with the girl. And fortunately, eventually we came to some understanding, and things wound down, and I eventually graduated. And when I got that 5 out of 5 review, it made me worry that we were on track to that all over again. It really did. But I cleaned up so many things in my life, and then I went on the date. And then I realized something after I went on the date. Let's face it, I give myself a 1 in 100 chance that this will be the forever life partner, right? But I give myself a 60-70% chance this is going to be a forever friend. But there's one thing that I noticed, even though this might not be the life partner. I noticed that when I go out with her, I get a lot more respect. And so when I go to my favorite restaurant, now I can really enjoy the romantic relationship that I have with myself by bringing a friend there and getting respected by that restaurant. And so if we were graphing all this out, my relationship with the girl has only gone up, a little bit, but my relationship with myself has taken a rocket up, right? And that's unfortunate. I really got the sense that we live in a society where we, especially guys, are judged by our relationship status. It almost feels like when I go out to the restaurant or to a trivia event or to a chess tournament or whatever event I like to go to, and I bring a girl there, it's like bringing a license that I am socially good, right? It almost feels like that, right? And I really despise that our society behaves like that, right? It's like a certificate of that you've passed your social degree, right? It kind of it really does feel like that. You need that kind of degree just to go out and have a social life and be accepted for who you are, right? It really does. It really does. I'm not joking about, and I'm very disappointed about that. And so it's a tough lesson to learn, and I think degree requirements like that almost force a lot of people to stay in toxic relationships. Granted, the girl that quote unquote dating right now isn't toxic. It's just not exactly relationship material. But you know what? I'll stay with her just to keep her around. And I think she keeps me around like it's a license as well. Right. Now, I got a comment yesterday. I had been talking about distracted driving. And I got a comment saying that I was a hypocrite because I drove distracted when I was heartbroken and got into 8 near-miss car accidents within the space of a week. Now, yes, I did continue to drive to school when I was dealing with those car accidents, but I feel I took the lesser of the evils. Here's why. First of all, driving to school was not my ideal choice, right? I talked to a couple of my colleagues to see if anybody there could help me. I explained my situation. I'm dealing with personal heartbreak situation, and I would like to see, because I'm doing so well with my students. You guys see I have a really good review. My colleagues suggested I take an FMLA, and I cannot get over that my colleagues said that. Here I am getting a 5 out of 5 review, the dean saying good things about me, and you're going to suggest FMLA? Really? No, I don't need a break from work. I need a break from driving. And I'm going to have to contact, as soon as Donald Trump steps into the White House, I'm going to write back to the whitehouse.gov site and make some suggestions to FMLA, future FMLA amendments to cover what happens when you have an employee whose disability or whatever health situation is not preventing them from working, but it's preventing them from commuting to work or some other peripheral task not related to work, but that needs to be done in order to get to work, right? You can imagine a number of situations might cause for that, right? Whether it be impairing your driving, it could be some sort of disability that might not affect your ability to do your work, but might affect your ability to keep up with dress codes, right? Imagine I had chest surgery of some sort, right? And couldn't, right? Or something like that, right? It could also be, I'm trying to think what else could impede things surrounding work, but not work itself, right? You get the idea, but commuting is probably the number one thing, right? But imagine some sort of disability that might require me to dress in a very gory way to get my job done. I think CAC would probably be accepting of that more so than the not being able to commute. Just my own personal experience, right? We have people who are disabled in weird ways. Well, I wouldn't say weird, but disabled in ways that force you to see, right? And I think they would be very accommodating of that. So I'm gonna write to Donald Trump as soon as he steps into office to see about possible adjustments to FMLA policies. But I talked to my colleague, and I quickly realized that taking FMLA would be a step in the wrong direction. Because why was I feeling the way I was? I was lonely. Do I need more loneliness to make driving even more dangerous a couple weeks down the road when I decide to end the FMLA? Had I taken FMLA, like my colleague had suggested, I don't know where I would be right now. Right? That would have been a step in the backward direction. Right? It would have alleviated the immediate situation of causing danger on the road, but it would have kicked the can down the road. That's the problem, right? And so I had to swallow the bitter medicine and drive to work, and now I'm better, and I have a date and all that. To be frank, it wasn't even the date I was after. It was the fact that I get respect when I go out to I went to see a movie with her today. I got so much more respect when I went into the movie theater with her. That was what I was after when I look back at it. I still have that romantic relationship with myself, and perhaps she does too, right? This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.